space we give to each other to share our heart's journeys with one another, to make this a space not just for people like me who have things to say, but the things we have to say to each other. The things of the heart, the things of the mind, the things of the spirit that gather us each and every day of our lives. So today I am so grateful and so delighted to have present with us today Stephen Jones to give us his disciple.
Wow. What a Father's Day. I got my son here, and he's my publicist too, so he's making sure that whatever happens here, good or bad, gets out to the rest of the family so I hear back on it. And of course I have my lovely wife Susie and her creation to my right. So and you out there, I feel such a comfort and delighted to be here. Thank you, Mark, for having this available. Since February 9th of this year, I've learned so much about my life, and specifically the end of my life. During those 4 months, I turned 72, and Susie and I celebrated our 49th anniversary. You'd think that I would learn more through all those years of classes, teaching, coaching, living through the many joys and sometimes tragic moments of family members, students, teachers, and friends. But I was rarely introspective during that time. Certainly not leading a contemplative life. I felt good, full of energy, and I thought that, of course, I'd live to be an old man. But in fact, I received a whole new perspective on life at the hospital outside of Albuquerque, New Mexico, packing our bags at the home of friends that we used to teach with in Buffalo, New York. I had a seizure. I lost awareness of who I was and where I was. I garbled my speech, felt dizzy, didn't know what day it was, and didn't even know who the President of the United States was. The next day after an MRI, I learned that I had a brain tumor, but in typically optimistic fashion, so those of you who know me, I convinced myself easily that it was going to be benign. After it was surgically removed in Asheville a couple of weeks later, I learned that not only was it aggressively malignant, but it was terminal as well. The median time of my life after diagnosis was 14 months. Now that's a wake-up call. Long story made short, I have completed 6 weeks of radiation and chemotherapy and remained mobile and relatively strong during that period. I've been told that instead of 6 to 14 months of life, I could have 2 to 3 or even more years on this good earth. But what does that have to do with what I believe? It's almost a cliche to say that it's important to enjoy and appreciate each day we are given, since we all know that the future is uncertain, and as human beings we all know that we die at some point. For 11 years in Manhattan's All Souls Church, Susie and I listened to Reverend Forrest Church say, "This is the day you have been given. Make the most of it as we walk together in peace toward truths that set us free." I didn't start to appreciate Forrest live this day to the max. It might be your last message until after the surgery, when I learned that the tumor really was terminal. My anger toward the injustices that we are born with and that surround us in this state and this country is growing, but I'm getting closer to myself and to this deeply caring congregation and its social justice programs. As a result, when this sudden prognosis of terminal cancer came, I was ready, and so were you. I said from the beginning that I didn't fear death, and that I wouldn't take extraordinary steps to prolong my life. I had learned from Forrest that death is not a curse to be outwitted no matter the cost. Death is the natural pivot on which life turns, without which life, as we know it, would not be. When we can no longer hold on with purpose, to let go is to die with dignity and grace. So I expect to stay involved in the congregation, and I'm now in a covenant group and in an Earth and Social Justice Committee. I've also intended to focus on environmental projects in the area, work with Asheville Greenworks and the city toward the creation of a new park on Bowcatcher Mountain behind Mission Hospital. With the diagnosis of the seizure, I lost my driver's license for 6 months. But Susie and friends have driven me all over town. In addition, I have my freedom and independence through the purchase of an electric bike. In addition to giving me much needed exercise, it delivers me from town down the road to downtown, the River Arts District, Carrier Park, West Asheville, and wherever I want to go. And I always have some power left when I get back up. Maybe I'll get my driver's license back in August, but I'll still use the bike when the weather is good. The thrill of riding down Old Toll Road near the Grove Park Inn, absorbing the aromatherapy scents of spring honeysuckle cannot be topped. In his book, Lifelines, Forest Church recalls a childhood prayer his grandmother said to him, "If I should die before I wake, I pray the Lord my soul to take." As a former Episcopalian, these words I remember vividly, kneeling with hands clasped beside my bed before going to sleep. However, Forrest gave me a whole new take on it in his book and on life by inverting the prayer to read, what would it mean if I should wake before I die? I want to wake. I want to wake to the larger world, and I believe that I am capable of moving in that direction, with love and support. Here's Susie, my larger family, Cater, grandson, one of 7. My friends in Asheville and elsewhere, and of course this congregation. I believe I can wake before I die by committing to intimacy and honesty in small groups, to deep, trusting friendships, to even greater love within my family, and to service within this congregation and the larger community. God bless you all.